Spiral notebook is what I work in. It's what I write in, and I prefer them because they lay flat on a music stand. And they're my constant companion, goes with me wherever I go. I liked the idea of it because it had a few different connotations in the sense of spiral, you know, CD spiral and tape machines, and, you know, notebook notes, music notes, I liked that. The connotation was, I think, a good strong one in terms of image. It said writer as opposed to maybe, you know, guitar hero or whatever, you know, which have been aspects of my career in the past, but I really felt that it kind of said writer. Who's out there buying Bonnie Raitt records and Don Henley records and Sting records and, you know, Billy Joel records and you know, here in Canada you have things like the Rankin Family and you know, I look at that and I say, well, I kind of feel personally like I belong more, say, on a Rita McNeil show than I do hoping that I'm going to get hired to be another roadside attraction. I usually write late at night is a real good creative time for me. Once the kids are all in bed and my wife's gone to bed and I wake back up at sort of 12:30 or 1 o'clock and wander around the house till 3:30 in the morning, that's a good time for me. And I tend to be able to get some interesting ideas when I first get up. Sort of before I've actually woken all the way up, you're sort of in a dreamlike state and things tend to have some sort of mystical significance. The Chalet up in Claremont. It was a terrific place, and it was a really interesting process for me. I've never really done that, gone out and actually lived in the studio where I was recording. Beautiful location, got up in the morning, went for walks, saw the deers gamboling about through the greenery, and it was a very organic feeling. You know, the band sat down to eat together, and we hung together, and I mean, it was only there for a week, but we got a lot of work done in that little time period, and I'd swear by the process. Absolutely, the most favorite time for me is the point in time when the band is just rehearsing the song and getting it right at the point where we're ready to record it, and then we go in and you cut the bed. That's my favorite point of recording. I have moments when I'm overdubbing that I really like, playing guitar and stuff. I'll turn to Ed Stone, the engineer that I work with all the time. I'll say, Eddie, I was born to do this. This is why I'm on the planet Earth. I love this. I tended to have a reputation of writing these songs that had big themes, and so this time I was trying to just, you know, one of the lyrics in one of the songs I'm talking about, get down to the diamond and sort of just find the little nugget, the small little story. Casey's on a Roll is a perfect example of the song. It's just a little story of a little moment in time between two people. And a lot of the songs are really just about that little moments, as opposed to, you know, big, huge, panoramic Panavision pictures. You know, this is more like just Polaroids, little snapshots. Let Me Be the One started out as a song that I was writing for my wife. We had our, at the time, 18th anniversary. We've since had the 19th. And the lyrics originally were stuff like, who's going to hold you when you're hurting, and who's going to see you through the pain, and who's like, just the rigors of having a relationship last such a long time. Then a friend of ours was getting married and asked if I'd sing for her at the wedding. So I rewrote some of the lyrics and turned it into a wedding song, and it seemed to go over quite well. From the youngest to the little old ladies with the blue hair, they said, oh, that's a lovely song. You should put that out as a record. Actually, I had one lady come to me after and said, she said something like, you know, you're really good at this. You should think about trying to do this professionally. I went, oh, okay, I'll consider that, thank you. The song Anything You Say started out, I was up at the cottage. Friends of ours have a cottage on Dyson Lake, which is up in the Muskokas. And I was playing on an old classical guitar of mine, and I had this little chord progression. I was just thumbing these eighth note kind of little progression. Open up your heart to me, the words I got 4 kids, and so 4 kids and my wife and I in the cottage, and there's no TV and there's no cable, there's no nothing. And in order to get along and not kill each other, there's certain kinds of things you have to do. You know, you have to sort of be able to make compromises, and at a certain point you have to say, hey, you know, I'm willing to do those kinds of things that you can't really put into words, make these kinds of sacrifices for the people that I love. So this was the emotional starting point for the lyric. You go through this process, you write these songs, and then in the end you say, what are the best songs? You know, which songs do I think I've really actually nailed it? And they ended up being the ones that are sort of softer. Certainly there's more ballads on this record. The songwriting one is the one that's the deepest process. And so I wanted to try and really focus on that. And I think it's the future.